I'd like to talk more about who may be behind these protests, helping to organize and fund them. So joining me now is Adam Swart. He is founder and CEO of Crowds on Demand, as well as a former UCLA student. Adam, thank you so much for your time. First of all, what do you think? What is your reaction to these mass protests that we are seeing break out on campuses nationwide? And then talk about what's happening at UCLA.
I think it's very troubling how widespread and how so many of them are turning to violence. I think there's not enough effort on the side either of authorities or the demonstrators themselves to try to de-escalate things. I think it's absolutely critical that First Amendment rights be expressed, but it's also critical that these protests not interfere with the right of other students and the broader community to express their opinions and to go about their daily life. And I think there has not been nearly enough effort, particularly on the part of the protesters, to show a sensitivity for the needs of the broader community.
You know, and as we said at the top of this, we want to dig into the bigger story here. Who is behind these protesters? Who's helping organize? Who is helping fund them? We're still waiting to find out how many of the arrests at UCLA recently include non-students. As Nancy just reported, there are more than 200 people arrested. But across the country, we know there were plenty of non-students arrested this week at Columbia University. Brooke Schaefer just laying that out. What are your thoughts about these outside agitators that officials keep talking about and then that we can see now are being arrested as well?
Well, unfortunately, this is a major challenge that in any contentious issue, whether it's a right-wing protest, left-wing protest, you've seen this during the BLM demonstrations, you've seen this in MAGA demonstrations, now you're seeing it here. You have outside groups, many of whom are not even ideological. They're anarchists, essentially, and they see opportunity amidst chaos to cause more trouble. And unfortunately, what they do is they make whatever group is demonstrating be painted with a broad brush. And that is a very unfortunate thing that any organizer of a demonstration needs to be aware of.
You are absolutely right. And again, we have seen it at so many different types of protests. From your perspective, Adam, how much of a role does social media play in all of this? Not only the legitimate protesters or people who were there for a cause, but the outside agitators, as you say, the anarchists.
I think social media is huge because it has the opportunity to amplify something that is a message by certain students at a certain college, and it has the opportunity to say, okay, this is happening at Columbia, or this is happening at my alma mater, UCLA. Now you have a bunch of people who aren't affiliated with the students who may or may not have an interest in the Palestine issue and see an opportunity to cause disruption. But unfortunately, they are doing a huge disservice to the students who simply want to express their First Amendment right, even some misguided views, perhaps, about the Palestinian issue, which they should absolutely have the right to do.
And Adam, I'd like you to react to what we're seeing happen right now at Portland State in Oregon, so obviously to the north of UCLA there, but that campus now shut down amid reports of body armor, possibly makeshift weapons. What is your reaction to that?
I think that is deeply, deeply troubling. And if this is body armor and weapons being brought by demonstrators or those who claim to be demonstrators, that needs to be taken extremely seriously. And what my warning is to the outside groups, if they are concerned with the broader issue of Palestine-Israel relations, what they are doing is putting all protesters at risk. Because when authorities see those sorts of things, they are forced to then escalate the situation by deploying riot gear and by arming themselves with higher grade weapons, because now they have to be prepared for potentially these types of threats. When if it was just a student demonstration that was peaceful, they wouldn't need to do that. So what these agitators are doing is escalating a situation and putting law enforcement at risk, but also putting all demonstrators at risk who are the peaceful ones.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.